Hey, this is Aaron Hobson with Red Hook Guitar. It's been a long time since I've posted anything. Been really busy. And if you can't tell, it's summer finally here in New York. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. I know I started posting my first videos. I was wearing like a wool hat and, you know, all bundled up with turtlenecks. Then we went to sweatshirts and now t-shirts. So here it is. So today I want to talk about a really horrible thing for beginner guitar players called bar chords. So they're kind of the dreaded chord, right, for guitar players, particularly beginner guitar players. So I just kind of want to do my own little, take on bar chords and how to play them, and kind of an overview of that. So basically, all your bar chords come from open chord formations that you already probably know. So if we're talking about major, right, you've got this open E chord, right, which I'm sure you know how to play this. If not, it's 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. All right, so that's an open E chord. So now I can move that formation around if I kind of put my fingers more like this, using my ring finger, pinky, middle finger, right? And if I kind of just move it over and then I bar with my pointer finger on that first fret, now I have an F chord. So if you've never barred before, it's a horribly painful and it's a horribly painful experience. I usually get my students to just sort of mess around, just taking their pointer finger and trying to strum each string individually to get, those notes to ring out, right? So you don't want to put your finger flat like this. You want to turn it in. So if you see with my wrist, I'm kind of turning it in to the left, right? Not to the right like that, that's awkward, but this way. And the reason why you do that, you get more of this bony part of your finger on there, which helps, but also it kind of frees up your hand, these fingers on your hand to do other things. If I'm like this, it's really awkward and hard to stretch with these fingers, and I'm kind of pulling more in my wrist. So if you can kind of get a tilt in there, that's great. And you kind of want to get just behind the fret, not on top of the fret, not too far to the left, because it's going to buzz. So the sweet spot of the fret is right there. So I always explain this, that, a bar chord, it's like your finger, your pointer finger becomes a capo, right? So if I played that same chord like this, you can see that E formation in there, right? So you could do that, and that's where your pointer finger would be, where the capo is, right? That's why people use the capo to cheat bar chords all the time. The only problem is if you have a key where there's several bar chords, you can't keep taking off the capo and putting it back on, so it becomes a little bit tricky. So here's your major form root on the top string, meaning if you go back to lesson 1, learning the notes across the fretboard, and learn that this is E, so that's why this chord in an open position is an E chord. And if I go to the first fret here, it's an F chord, and if I go to the second fret, it's an F sharp or a G flat. If I go to the third fret, it's a G, G sharp or A flat, A, and you can keep moving this chord around all over the fretboard. So that's a major bar chord. Okay? So, there's other types of chords to play in this position. So E minor is like this, right? So we all pretty much, I'm sure, know E minor, the open E minor chord by now, right? So if I reconfigure my fingers like this with my ring finger and my pinky, and I move that back, right? And I bar with my pointer finger, now I have a minor chord. I have an F minor coming from that open E minor chord that you already know. All right, so here's F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, A minor, right? So you can move these all around, and again, it's just as if your pointer finger becomes a capo, and you're playing this E minor chord, okay? And then the other voicing is the dominant 7 voicing, so E7. Right, so if you don't know that one, you can look that up, but it's basically an E chord losing that ring finger, so you have an open D string. All right, and then you can bar and keep that same formation. So that's F7, F sharp 7, G7, G sharp 7, so on. Same thing if I capoed and played an E7 formation. That's kind of what we're doing here. So again, if you don't know the notes across your top string, go to my lesson 1, learning the notes across the fretboard. And that is how you're going to know the root of your chord, and that is how you're going to know what chord you're playing when you move this around, okay? You can also do minor 7. So minor 7 is just losing that D string note again. So I've just got one finger on here on the 2nd fret of the A string. So that's another way to play. It's one way to play a minor 7. And again, so I can bar these. Now I have F minor 7, F sharp minor 7, G minor 7. So I can move these around. Okay, so that's all root on the top string. Then you also have what's called root on the A string. So your A string is this one here, the 2nd one down, right? So coming from these chords that you already know, like A, right? Just the scrunchy finger A. So if I reconfigure it like this using my middle ring pinky, I can just move that around and bar that. So now that's an A sharp, a B, a C, a C sharp, a D. So if you don't want that bulkiness of having all these 3 fingers, sometimes it's easier to do a double bar. Trust me, it's not easy in the beginning, but it's easier in the long run. Because if you're kind of going from one to the next, it's easier to do that than, right? So the double bar, I'm just taking my ring finger, I'm using my pinky as a little bit of extra support, and I've got my pointer and my ring finger barring these 3. Okay, so that's just another way. And that way you can flip me off too, because I know you really want to at this point. I always tell my students that. Flip me off. I know you really want to. So anyway, same thing here. So if I capoed on the 1st fret and I played like an A, that's what we're doing. Your pointer finger becomes a capo, and then you're playing that A chord that you already know in the open position. And you remember this is A, the A string, so that's why this is an A. This is A sharp, which is why that's an A sharp chord. This note is B, right? This note is C, and you can just keep moving that around. So we have major, and then we have minor. So A minor, coming from that open A minor, right? Then I can move it around. A sharp minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp minor. So you can see that formation of the A minor chord in these fingers, all right? If I want to make it a minor 7, I just take off my pinky, right? Because A minor 7 is just this. I've taken away my ring finger here. So this is A minor, this is A minor 7, and then you can move that around too. It has a little bit more of a jazzy kind of sound. And then the last one you have is your open A7. Okay, and then I can move that around. So here's A sharp 7, B7, C7, C sharp 7, D7, D sharp 7, etc. All right, so again, I kind of wrote them out, but I don't know if I'll be able to really check these out. So we have root on the top string with major coming from the open E chord. And if we move that over to the 1st fret and just add that bar, we have an F. Here's the minor coming from the E minor that you already know in the open position. Moving it over, barring, keeping that E minor formation. Then your dominant 7, you got E7, moving it over for F7. And then you've got them all in your A string, from A to A sharp, A minor to A sharp minor, and then your dominant 7s, A7 to A sharp 7. I didn't include the minor 7s in there, but that's E minor 7, and this is A minor 7, and those are movable too. So in the description, I'm gonna give a couple of little exercises and examples of songs that have bar chords in them for you to practice if you feel so inclined. Really, it's just kind of getting the strength in your fingers to hold those down at the same time. And also, you know, being able to switch from open chords to bar chords is a little tricky going from bar chords to bar chords is a little bit easier once you get the hang of it. And then learning your notes across the E string and the A string, that's where this stuff, we start applying this knowledge, because then you can know where the root of your bar chords are. All right, so one example that my teacher gave me when I was first taking lessons was going in what's called the circle of fourths. So if you don't know what circle of fourths is, I also did a video on that. Just going through bead Gukuff, B-E-A-D-G-C-F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and then C flat would be the same as B again, so you'd be back to the beginning. So that just ensures that you play through all of your keys in all of your places. So here's my B on the 7th fret. I could go through all these in major. So if I go B, my next chord would be E. And a fourth away from E would be A. Fourth away from A would be D. Fourth away from D would be G. Fourth away from G would be C. A fourth away from C would be F. A fourth away from F would be B flat. Then I'm up to E flat. Fourth away from E flat is A flat. Fourth away from A flat is D flat. Then G flat. And then I'm back to B here, which same chord as where I started really, but I'm playing it at a different position. So remember, fourths on the guitar are pretty easy on most of these strings because you're going from just one string, you're staying on the same fret but going one string down. So B to E, A to D, G to C, F to B flat. Then it reverses, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B. So again, if you don't know your cycle of fourths, circle of fourths, then go back to my video and brush up on that. But this is a good way to practice scales and chords. And then you can go through, once you know all the majors, turn them all into minors. So now I have B minor to E minor to A minor to D minor to G minor to C minor to F minor to B flat minor to E flat minor, A flat minor, D flat minor, G flat minor, back to A minor. Then you can do them with dominant sevens, minor sevens, and just practice all of your different chord types and shapes in the circle of fourths, giving you good range of things to practice. So I'll put that in the description, like how to figure all that out, and some songs to check out if you want to learn more bar chords. Anyway, hope that was a helpful video. I will be doing more. It's summertime. See you next time.